Later this year, in November, Assassin's Creed Unity will officially be a decade old. That in and of itself feels absurd, but what's perhaps even more absurd is how popular and frequently talked about this game still is nearly 10 years later. That's even more miraculous when you consider that this game was, by nearly all accounts, hated when it originally released. Yet, out of any of the old Assassin's Creed games, it's arguably the one that has aged the best. It's amassed somewhat of a cult following that are willing to die on a hill defending the game. I should know. I'm one of them. And no matter how many new AC games come out, and no matter how they're received, Unity always finds a way to stay constantly relevant in the Assassin's Creed community. Whether it's from people playing it, talking about it, or modders improving the experience with new mods every day. I also feel like AC Unity has pretty much become the gold standard of what modern Assassin's Creed should be like. The second Mirage released, there was already plenty of people comparing it to Unity. The game just refuses to die, more so than any other old Assassin's Creed game, and it just always manages to stay relevant. It's become like the series' dark horse, and until a new Assassin's Creed game comes out that either builds on what Unity did back in 2014 or clearly surpasses it, the game will continue to stay relevant for years to come. So why won't Assassin's Creed Unity die? Why won't it slowly fade into obscurity like some of the other titles in the series? Perhaps one of the most obvious reasons are the visuals. I believe a massive reason why Unity is still played and talked about so much, even almost a decade later, is because it literally looks like a game that could have came out today. In fact, dare I say it, it looks better than a lot of other recent AAA games out there. Unity is like Tom Cruise. It just doesn't age. I'd have a hard time believing this game even in another 10 years would be considered a bad looking game. And while I don't overly care about graphics in these games, that's certainly one of the bigger reasons why Unity has aged so well, and why so many new people choose to experience it for the first time each year. I think a lot of the games before Unity have aged pretty well too, but even just going back to Black Flag, a game that was released only a year before Unity, the difference is night and day. And Black Flag is by no means a bad looking game either, but it certainly doesn't look like a game that came out only a year before Unity. And of course, the other reasons why Unity has aged so well is gameplay and world design. I say it all the time, but when it comes to delivering the fantasy of being an assassin, Unity is the quintessential Assassin's Creed game. I'm not saying it's the best overall game in the series, but when it came to creating the true, authentic assassin experience in stealth, parkour, and combat, it to many people still feels like the pinnacle of Assassin's Creed, which is the biggest reason why so many people still point to it as the prime example of what they want from this series, and why we're always comparing it to the newest game that releases. Unity still represents the best of what the traditional Assassin's Creed formula looks like in the modern gaming landscape, from the animations to the mechanics and features to the pure sense of scale and immersion it offers. I literally just made a video the other day talking about how not building on Unity's gameplay and continuing to make more games like it was one of the series' biggest missed opportunities. The gameplay is still far from perfect, hence why I wanted to see them continue to build and improve on it, but even so, it still offers one of the most satisfying and rewarding assassin experiences you can have in the series. And make no mistake, while I love Mirage and I think it was definitely a much needed redirect for the franchise, it still doesn't reach the same level as Unity did almost 10 years ago. Well, minus the bugs, of course. But even now, to this day, the love and support a lot of the community has for this game continues to only get stronger over time. Just last year, we got a lot of incredible mods, including ACU fixes, that made so many great changes to the game. This game is so beloved that you still have people working hard to improve it even further and help Unity live up to the full potential we all know it had. Oh, and it probably helps having having co-op as well. A lot of people want to play these games with friends, and considering AC Unity is the only game in the series you can do that with, aside from those old multiplayer modes, that naturally brings a lot of people either back to the game or encourages them to try it for the first time. And since Unity is the only game that offers co-op, a lot of first-time players to Assassin's Creed are going to choose to start with Unity over any other game in the series. All of these factors have played pivotal roles in Unity's survival over the past decade, and again, until a game can truly surpass the experience and features it offers, I don't see it fading into obscurity anytime soon. For all I know, I may still be talking about this game in another 10 years. It feels timeless. Obviously, AC Unity is still a game of many issues, I'm certainly not blind to that, but in spite of all that, it offers me an experience no other Assassin's Creed game can. It's always been a special game to me, and clearly to many others as well, considering how many people still defend it to this day. So if you're like me and still love to talk about and play Assassin's Creed Unity, what do you think has allowed the game to age so well, and why no matter how much time passes, does it refuse to die? As always, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and considered subscribing to the channel if you're new. A special thank you to my members for supporting me, and other than that, thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day, Assassins.